everybody, it is April and today I am multitasking. So stick around and I'll show you what I'm doing. So today I want to do two things simultaneously. I have this quilt that I am quilting, but while I'm up here, I want to make another quilt. Now let's go back in time. Oh, it might have even been the end of July. Sherry had this wonderful idea that we should make 10 scrap quilts in the month of August and donate them to Project Linus. And then I thought, let's make 10 scrap quilts in the month of August, donate 9 of them to Project Linus, and give one of them away to a viewer. How does that sound? And you would get your pick. So whoever wins gets to pick out of the 10. We may have bitten off a little more than we could chew. Whatever happens, one person will get to pick the quilt that they want out of however many scrap quilts we get done this month. Now, the first thing I have to do is I have to fix a boo-boo. I know you're shocked. I know you are. Let me share. If you do any long arm quilting, you are going to recognize right away what I did wrong. And you know, I kept thinking, this is not right. This back is too high up. But it just did not enter my brain until towards the end of the first pass of quilting the quilt what the problem was. Well, like I said, if you do any long arm quilting at all, you know exactly what the problem is. I put the backing on wrong. I went over the top instead of underneath. So I am going to fix that. Fortunately, I noticed it the first pass through. I did not have too many issues. I don't even, you know what my biggest issue was? The back was not plugged in very well, and so the electric went out for a minute. Alrighty then, this is going to be fun. Hey, though, I really used my backing economically though, didn't I? Alright, so let me just put these sew tights on here. And it's time to roll it up, so I think we'll be okay. We will make it work. Because for any problem, there's always a solution. And I can do this more easily from the back side. Now it turns out this quilt is 80 something long, I think it's 83 and a half, something like that. Well, that's another thing I didn't do right. I did not load it right, and I did not load it right. So I have a little issue on the edge. Fortunately, it's not going to make that big of a difference. But my machine only goes so far. And I put my quilt further over than I can actually quilt it. So here I am. I need to mark my quilt, and I need to get this clip off. So I have these little stickers, and when you sew in zones, you mark your quilt. So I'm going to see if I can't push this sticker over so I can see where the needle goes. Okay, and then I'm going to do single stitch. And then I'm going to go to the next mark. Okay. And while that machine is moving, I'm going to pull up this edge and put my sew tight. All right, and then I will do the same thing on this side. Now, let me take off my clips. And roll this up. Okay, here we go. Much better. So I need to roll to where I can see my mark. And that looks good. Of course, now because I float my quilt top, I'm gonna smooth it out, put my clips back. I think my camera stand is trying to hurt me. Okay. Such a pretty quilt top. I love it. And I am using a So Shabby quilting design that I think is really pretty. Let me trim this. And then once I get this going, I can work on my scrap quilt. Once I am done with this quilt, I will be marking exactly where I need to, I'm gonna mark on the bar like with a permanent marker how far I can go, because I need that on there to make sure that I don't do the same thing next time I have a larger quilt. So I think 86 is probably about as big as I need to go. Okay, I have both sides basted, and I believe I am ready to go. So I need to mark where my sticker is supposed to be. I think it goes right here. So we're going to put it right here. Okay, maybe not. Okay, so my sticker actually goes up here. All right, and then I'm going to bring it to this side to where this sticker is. Okay, my stickers keep wanting to come undone, but once I have done this, once I have marked where my stickers are, then I'm good. It doesn't matter about the stickers anymore. Okay, I know that I'm going to start somewhere in the middle here, so now I'm going to click sew. And I forgot to do my bobbin thread, but that's okay. I can pull it up. So while my machine does my job for me in the background, I'm going to take the bag that had these scraps in it. These are smaller pieces. For the pattern that I am using for my Villa Rosa scrap quilt, I'm going to take these strips that are full-length strips, which is width of fabric, they are 2.5 inches wide. And using a Villa Rosa pattern, I'm going to sew these together to make my scrap quilt, which means that I will have, well, I'll be working on one of the 10 scrap quilts that I need to get done. So, this is called multitasking. Now, will my thread break while I am doing this? Hope not. Will my bobbin run out? Hope not. We'll see what happens. Now I need to sew 7 sets of strips, 7 sets of 4 strips together. Now I'm going to join these strips together and I will have my 4. And then we'll see what's next. Guess I need to finger press, huh? And actually, I have this little tool. Thank you, Debbie Dobbins. She gave me this, and it's to press seams open. Let's see, where do I want to do it? I want to go this way. Nice. Okay. Now, I need to do the same with this one. Let's start at the other end. Oh, got some thread. As soon as I said stay tuned to find out, my thread broke, or I'm out of bobbin. So let's see what happens. I am going to release my carriage, and I know that my top thread is not out. I am thinking that my bobbin ran out. So I'm just gonna pick this to the seam right about there. So when I pulled this all the way over to the edge, there is no bobbin thread. So I need to replace the bobbin. And we are back in business. I am multitasking. I am moving up my quilt top because I'm done with this row. And then I will start sewing my strips together. I think I'm okay in the front. I have been using Fantastico thread and a Deco Bob bobbin, and my machine seems to like it. I think I figured it out. Of course, as soon as I say that, I'm going to have thread breaks all over the place. All right, so I am going to... I do have something else that I am excited about. I have a binding attachment for my Epic 2, my Husqvarna Viking Epic 2 machine. And I've attached it. So I am hoping it will make binding so much easier that I won't even dislike it. We'll see. So what I am doing is I have released my sewing machine. So it is no longer connected to the software. And I am basting the edge down. So I do needle up, needle down, pull out my bobbin thread, and then baste. And little Miss Gracie turned 15. That's 105 in dog years. Come here. Oh, see, doesn't she look good for 105? So now we're going to head out the door to my sewing machine that I set up on this floor, and we're going to sew strips together. Okay, looks like we had a little thread issue going on while I wasn't paying attention. And you know what I bet? I bet I ran out of bobbin. That's going to be my guess. Let's check. Let's see. So we're going to release carriage. All right, and I can see bobbin thread here, but it's a little bitty piece. So, yep, I ran out of bobbin. Let me get it, scissors, and that's what it is. Bobbin, completely empty. So I've got a new one. Now on these deco bobs, from what I understand, people like to take a little bit off. They are wound very tightly and the thread is very fine. So I don't know if you can see this thread, but it is extremely fine. It is good looking thread, but when I say fine, I just mean it is a thin thread. It's tough, but it's light, it's not as heavy a weight. Okay, and it seems to work perfectly for the bobbin for long arming. Okay, so we're going to put this guy back, repair pattern. I'm going to place it a little ways before where I stopped stitching correctly. I'm going to pull the bobbin. Okay, perfect. I'm going to hit sew. I'm going to lightly hold the bobbin and my thread. I don't want to pull. So hopefully you can hear me. While that is doing its thing, I have pressed my 4 strips. This needs to be 42 inches long. So let me clean up the ends, because that's not even optional. Helps if you unlock it. Whoop. Now I gotta pay attention to this. I have to remove the clip so that it doesn't prevent my machine from getting to that edge. And that is my fault because of the way that I placed the quilt. And there's my beautiful pattern. Now you can see how pretty that is. So it's not gorgeous, but you know what? I just need functional. The thing that's going to be difficult about it is I don't really have anywhere to press. I mean, I press here, and I can press here. Ah. All right. Now I need to cut my pieces that are going to make, I'm just going to say, a lightning bolt. The name of the pattern is Pinked, and I'm not sure if I showed this to you all. I have the little postcard version and I lost it, and then I bought the downloadable version, and then of course I found my postcard version. This was $2. You can't beat the price of these patterns. So, you saw the first row on the design wall. I have 6 more rows, and this is one of the 6. It probably matches this the least, but it is what it is. I think when it's all said and done, it will be fine. All right, so I'm going to cut off this selvage end. I've already cut this strip the width that I need. Now I need to cut it the length that I need. And I will need 6 of these. So there's 1. Hit my light. The thing about up here is I am working in a smaller space. So I know how you guys feel when you're in this smaller space. However, I like this little space. All right, I think I'm going to do 2 at a time. So let me put this here. Pull this. I can press these with this iron right here. I do have a little wool mat. Scoot you back a little. So this is like my extra sewing area, and you know what I really want? I want to replace this table here, which is just one of those plastic 5-foot tables, with one of those husky cabinets that has the top that raises. I really wish I could get Home Depot to sponsor me, but I applied and I never heard back. So they didn't reject me. They just never responded to me, which really is probably the same thing. Okay, now when you look at the pattern and it says draw lines on the back of your fabric, it's going to be confusing at first, but it's not. It's once you do it one time, you are home free. Okay. All right. Let's flip this over. So now we do 3 one-way. Actually, you can do them all. I think you can do them all the same way. You just flip them a different way. Okay. So I've done one this way. I'm going to do another one this way. And essentially what you're going to do is, for this one, I'm starting in the upper left-hand corner. All right, so I start in the upper left-hand corner. Now I am pulling them down to my ruler across the bottom, and I have a 3/4 inch mark right here. So I'm going to mark, so I'm starting on 20, and then I'm going to mark this 3/4 of an inch. So the first line that I'm going to draw starts in the corner in the upper left and ends on that 3/4 inch mark. So I'm just using a pencil, mainly because that's what I could find. Oh, hold on. Okay, I didn't end up in my corner, so I want to end up in my corner. Okay, now the next line is going to start here where the first line ended. So I am going to flip, because I'm going to start up here in my corner, and I want to put this back on the line and mark my 3/4 inch. So this time, as long as your lines aren't crossing, you probably have it right. All right, so I'm going to put it right there. So here's my 3/4 inch, and this is a line from the absolute corner of my fabric. And here are the 2 lines that you're going to sew on. So it shows, do this, it shows a set of lines going to from the top to the bottom from the left-hand side, and then it shows a set of lines going from the top to the bottom on the right-hand side. I think if I flip this over, so here, well, no, it doesn't. Okay, so even if I flip it over, that does not work. Okay, cool, can't flip it over, got it. So let me get one of my strips, and actually I need to iron it first because it needs to be accurate. So in my space, this wool mat, it just isn't big enough. So when I was at Comic-Con, when I didn't go to Comic-Con. When I was at QuiltCon, they were selling this iron mat, or matique, and it has grippies on the back, and it won't get your surface hot, so it protects the surface of what you're ironing on, what you're using this on. Now it is really for traveling. I mean, that was, I think, its original intent. But I need it just for everyday use. So I thought, you know what? This is a great investment. And I've got my caterpillar mat under this. So I don't know about you all, but I have used something that's supposed to be heat. What is the word? I've used pressing mats before that weren't supposed to put heat underneath, and I have been very disappointed. I have actually warped mats that way. This, when I feel my caterpillar mat underneath, there is no heat, none. My Steady Betty is the same way, no heat conduction. So I'll put a link below to where this mat is, because it's nice. I just pull it up. I don't have to have a place that's specific for ironing. It's not hard to pull up and put back. It's not like it's terribly time consuming. So it's a nice little investment. All right, I'm just gonna roll this back up and lay this down. I can fold over one end because I'm always going to be working on the left-hand side of this, and I did not press that well. I'm gonna roll it back out. I just did it from the bottom. I should have double-checked my work. There we go. Okay. It was just on the one end, I think. Let's make sure. I ended up having to pull out a couple batiks. I do have a couple more batiks. I love this, but I'm not sure that it really goes along with the rest of the quilt. Yes, this is one of those. But I have faith that it will turn out just fine. All right. Now, this is supposed to be a certain length. It's supposed to be 42 inches long because that is what they're expecting your fabric width to be. So, if I fold it in half, that's 21 inches. So let me take this, and I've got more than 21 inches, so I'm good. So let me trim the end. Let me get to where I'm 21 inches, and then I'll trim the end. Do it this way. It's actually easier to keep an area tidy if it's smaller, because you know you don't have room for a bunch of stuff, so you just don't have a bunch of stuff. All right. So I'm going to, let's see. I am going to trim. All right, this is 21 inches. Let's do it on an angle. All right, 21 inches. Okay, got that done. Because 21 and 21 is 42, right? I hope. Okay, so now I need to measure this and place my fabric here. And I need pins. Now I am using pins on this. I can't use clips because I am actually sewing in the middle, so I mean I could clip here and here, but I'm just gonna suck it up and use my pins. And I sew on the lines, and then we will cut in between the lines. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside, finish getting the rest of my rows together, and then we'll sew them. Now I haven't trimmed the sides off yet. My goodness, this thing is big. Oh, it's crooked. See how big it is? Oh, I can't wait to show you the back. All right, let me fix this. It's all crooked. Put you right there. Okay. I'm gonna have to get some way to hang a quilt up. I mean, look at this. It's so big. So big. And then the back is really cool because you can see the design on the back. How pretty is that? I love it. Love it. All right. So I will have to trim this down and put a binding on it. I must say I really like getting quilts done. It is a good feeling. All right, so I've got my extra piece sewn on to my strip. Now, the reason that I put those two lines on this was because I want to sew on those lines. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut in between. So my ruler has a 1/4 inch marking, and I am going to use that 1/4 inch marking along the seam on one of the sides to determine where to cut. Let's see. There we go. And then what will happen is I will fold this out and fold this out, and I will sew these two pieces together. Now, what I can do is I can trim this dog ear on both of these so that it's easy to line them up. Okay, and they will go together just like this. I think I'm going to pin these. I could clip these, but I don't have any clips up here, so I am going to use pins. and pressing them would probably help. So here you can see I have my strip all put together, and I'm going to press the edge where this meets towards the inside because I have all these seams, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side because I've got all these seams on the other. So I want them away. This I can really press either way, but honestly it's probably better to press towards the bigger side, although I'm going to get some bulk here. You can see the white marks that are on that particular piece of fabric. I've got them on this side too. I guess I was testing out a white pen, and it worked. I don't know how. Hopefully it's water soluble and I'll be able to get rid of the marks. But here I had figure eights going on. I am on my last row, and as you can see, I've been putting pictures. My design wall did not work out, so I have been using my floor, and you know what? It works just fine. Okay, so this is my makeshift design floor right at the top of my stairs. So far so good. The color doesn't look all that great. Here comes Grace. See if she'll, oh, there we go. She tried to jump across it. But I am loving the look of this quilt. This is such a fun little quilt. It is 43 by, I want to say 56. So it's a decent size lap quilt. Now, of course, you could always add some rows to it and borders on the side and make it even bigger. You just need more jelly roll strips. Cannot wait to show you the finished project. Okay, are you ready for the big reveal? Ta-da! Now, how cute is this quilt? I love it. So cute. Very few matching seams. It looks so cute. Now, so you can see where my rows are darker, and then I made sure that this fabric that looks like a lightning bolt to me, that it was a stark contrast from these rows. If you were to pick something similar, then it would not pop. Thank you so much for watching. Now, I hope that you realize that you don't have to have all the things in order to be able to make a quilt. I did it with a 5-foot table, some bed risers, an ironmatic pad, an iron that I've had for years. I used the floor from a design wall. I mean, you don't have to have all the stuff, and it's still just as much fun. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, eat some chocolate, and be kind to everyone. And if you're feeling really generous, subscribe.